All right, today I have the extreme pleasure to speak to my dad, Professor Ardain Isma, who teaches Introduction to Research Studies in Embry-Riddle University. We're going to be talking about the 2020 presidential elections, the immigration issue, and also the rising star, Alexandria Cortez. All right, first let's talk about the presidential candidates. First come first, let's talk about Miss Elizabeth Warren. What do you see her as a presidential candidate?
I believe, again, I have to say thank you, Didine, for accepting to sit down and have another conversation. I know you want to know about you just want to know my opinion on the top contenders of the upcoming 2020 presidential election. And you want to know about Elizabeth Warren. Well, I think she is an amazing woman. She's well known within the progressive movement, but more importantly within the extra liberal movement. And she's very popular among the same core constituency. And I believe, quite frankly, let's be clear, 2020 from now is a long way off. But I think anyone standing against Trump who's genuine about his political conviction, such as somebody like Elizabeth Warren, has a great chance of winning. I think she has a chance.
Okay. But what about the golden boy, Mr. Beto O'Rourke?
Again, he's a rising star of progressive politics. He's proving himself during the last senatorial election down in Texas. I watch him many times. I see the depth of his political conviction and how he's rising steadily among the opinion polls. In fact, I believe the latest opinion polls reveal that he's the third in line, right behind Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. So I think he has a great chance of winning. And even people talking about a dream team between him and John Kennedy Jr. So as for 2020, well, yes, he has a chance.
Okay. Now you mentioned Bernie. Do you really think that Bernie could do it again?
Well, Bernie Sanders remains one of the most popular politicians in the United States, no doubt. I even question the fact that the corporate media keep pointing Joe Biden as being more popular than Bernie Sanders. I have great reservation to that. But since we're talking about the bourgeois media, and the corporate media, and already they're trying to tease public opinion, to prepare people's mind and to accept them as certain Joe Biden as the effective, uncontested, the indisputable individual who will ultimately represent the Dems in 2020. So,
well, what about Biden? Do you think that he has a chance in winning against Trump?
Like I just say that anyone who ultimately become the nominee for the Democrats has a good chance of winning. Of course. Donald Trump will have some serious difficulty of convincing the majority of Americans that he can in fact lead this country to great stride. And I'm not saying this just because I have some serious problem with Donald Trump. It's because that he has betrayed many Americans, and especially those folks from the Belt countries, states. I'm talking about Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio. These folks who voted him, not because of his racism, but because they believe in his pro-America policy, that he will ultimately, he was going to take a stand against the corporate multinational business. They misunderstood Donald Trump. Now they have come to realize that they have voted someone who's crazy, someone who's extremely dull in his thinking, someone clearly one can say who suffered from an acute form of obsessive compulsive disorder and who's clearly is not on medication. So at this point, so you know, anyone who stands against Trump will have a chance of winning in 2020.
Well, the surprising contender who just announced his candidacy, Mr. Julian Castro, what do you think of his chance?
Castro is a unique case. As you can see, he's not among the top choice for now. But the mere fact he has already announced his candidacy for the next election proves that America is indeed not a country designed solely for white Americans. He's the son of Mexican immigrants, the very people Donald Trump has accused of being rapists, being drug dealers. But he's the son of one of those Mexican immigrants. And he sends a message. He may never win, but his message that America is a diverse country, and if you want to, you can have a chance at succeeding at becoming whatever. And the mere fact that Barack Obama was president of the United States, it's a testament that if you believe, believe in something, believe in yourself, and you can ultimately become also president. So it sent a message to white supremacy, a direct message to those who believe that America was created only and solely for white Americans.
Now, let's move on to a different subject. What do you think of the budget deadlock over immigration and the border wall proposed by Donald Trump?
Well, I always believe that the government shutdown is a political stunt created by Trump to please his core constituency, who never really shied away from their blatant racism, who strongly believe in white supremacy, although in the media they call them white nationalism. But I always like to call the devil by its name.
Of course.
Yeah, these are folks who would not want to be living in a society where what they call brown and black people would have a chance, unless they agree to confine themselves into the back burner of society. So Donald Trump promised these folks that he will ethnically cleanse America, and at least if he couldn't do that, he would keep all those wanting to come to the United States away from the border. And creating a wall is the most simplistic way of doing it, but that's what he wants to do. Now, will Donald Trump succeed at achieving that? It's highly unlikely, because if the Dems agree to give him what he wants, they also will commit political suicide, because their own constituency vehemently against that. And I believe in, if I want to believe the conventional wisdom, a majority of Americans do not want this to drag forever. And overwhelmingly, a majority of Americans also blame Donald Trump for shutting down the government.
It's 800,000 Americans who are still without a paycheck, and Donald Trump doesn't seem to care at all.
You know what? One of the things I said at the beginning of this crisis, people say, well, you know what? Government has been shut down, but within the next few days, there's going to be a resolution to this matter, because this could not drag forever. But now, it's been what now? How many days now? About 30 days? Okay. 30 days. The longest ever in American history. But Donald Trump does not follow conventional wisdom.
No.
Donald Trump doesn't really care about the vast majority of the disenfranchised American.
Yes.
Even the very people who've been supporting him,
Yeah.
protecting him, the security forces, who themselves are federal employees.
Exactly.
They've been doing it for nothing, at least pro bono right now. And they don't know when is the next check is going to come.
Do you agree with the order from Donald Trump to have all these government workers to come back to work without pay? Do you think that that's wrong, or is it right?
Betty Jean, who would agree to something like that? This is
No,
madness.
It is madness.
He would have never accepted this for himself, or his children, or his close associate. The mere fact Donald Trump only believes in himself and himself alone. He doesn't care whether the rest of the world is crumbling around him. He doesn't believe in social justice. He clearly, if he had his way, he would have been the most, I would say, despotic leader America has ever really witnessed.
Exactly.
But because this country has also strong institution and some sort of an independence between the different branches of government, so his hands are tied. But he's using all kind of political tactics to force people into accepting what he wants.
What do you think of the leadership of Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi has been contested since the beginning, and one of the main person leading this charge against one of them is not the one, but we want to talk about the rising star of the Democratic Party, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes.
Yeah, she said that it's time for the old guards of the Democratic Party to step aside and let the new generation of Americans, what I personally call the young Democrats, to take charge, because they're not afraid of confronting the establishment. But you know what? The biggest problem with traditional Democrats and the new progressive Democrats is a question of, again, class antagonisms.
Yes.
The new Democrats, what you call the progressive Democrats, they're strongly against what they call super PAC, raising money from big lobby donors.
Exactly.
They're against that.
Yes.
And Bernie Sanders during the last cycle is proving that if you're clearly genuine about what you believe in, if you speak from the soul,
Exactly.
America will eventually come to participate in the thing. Because this new group of progressive Democrats believe not in a bourgeois democracy, not in a representative democracy. They believe in participatory democracy, where the voters, everyone will have a say, not just once every 2 years or once every 4 years, but in every day of their lives.
Absolutely.
Which is very different from the established norm within the Democratic Party.
Absolutely. Speaking of Alexandria Cortez, she came out introducing herself as, from the beginning, as a democratic socialist. Do you think that term is very dangerous for the Democratic Party?
I think dangerous is a very strong word to use, but he never shied away when she announced her candidacy. She said she was a democratic socialist.
Same thing with Bernie.
It didn't stop the voters from overwhelmingly voting for her. So it is the establishment of, again, I just have to refer to this, to use word to scare people.
Yes.
That's what they say of Bernie Sanders. Okay? But millions of Americans supported Bernie.
Exactly.
So more and more you see the word socialism or social democracy, becoming like an accepted kind of reality in American politics.
Yeah, it is.
Progressivism is right now something everyone talks about. Okay? And we're going to see whether a vast majority of Americans will support that in the next cycle in 2020.
Exactly. With Alexandria Cortez, it always seems like it's some of the Democrats are scared of her, and also seeing some of the Republicans. What is it about her specifically? Do you think that people are just like kind of nervous about?
Alexandria Cortez? Yeah, because she's very eloquent, she's articulate, and then she gets right to the point. And what she says scares the big business establishments, the gurus from Wall Street, and everyone who has a stake in American politics. I'm talking about the lobby donors, those who would spend millions of dollars to support candidates who will ultimately, once they get elected, to work for their agenda. She's against all that. So she's dangerous. And that's why they will do everything they can to make sure she's kept in the box.
Yeah.
She will never actually a national figure. But she, and to some extent, she already has. She already has become a national figure.
She has.
Because her popularity is not confined within the boundaries of New York. Anywhere in America right now, you mention her name, people will know who she is.
Yeah.
People will tell you exactly who she is and what she is.
Her popularity has grown.
But I just want to refer to one thing to close this conversation, is the issue of immigration and the border thing. Is it a scam? Most, if you look in the media, you will never see that, you will never find that information. Is the question of those migrants pushing the way northward towards the border. To go from Honduras to get to the U.S. border, you have to cross Mexico, which is a very long country, big country too. Not as big as the United States, but Mexico is not a small country. So the government of Honduras is a guy named Juan Orlando Hernandez. By all accounts, is fascist. A gentleman who espouses the same ideas of Donald Trump, who rose to power under dubious conditions, and who used heavy-handed tactics to suppress dissent, in particular Honduras' second largest city, San Pedro Sula. And most of these people, migrant Hondurans, fleeing the country to get to the United States, are from surrounding area of San Pedro Sula. Forcing those people to flee the country, their homes, and then also giving them false hope. Once they get to the U.S. border, they will find a way into America, and you know it's true. And that also, they know clearly once they do that, they create a better condition for Trump to raise his argument. Yeah, anyone, you ought to be anyone. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that these people, they don't live deep in the jungles. These are well-dressed individuals. Ultimately, obviously, they listen to the radio, they watch television, they see what happened to those who actually came before them, who just went this journey before them, and they most likely would have heard about their fate. But yet they kept coming. It's just a scam. Spearheaded by foreign intelligence services and the right-wing government of Honduras to make it better for Trump to present his argument. This is something that you will not hear from the U.S. media because it doesn't fit their purpose. Yes. That's it.
Well, this was a great conversation. I learned a lot about the presidential candidates and also about the immigration issue and the government shutdown. Dad, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll do this again.
All right, no problem, anytime.
All right.
Okay.